Hey guys, we're going to start with East Africa today, and the first city that I want us to study about is Kenya.
Kenya. Kenya's land and climate. About 2 times the size of Nevada, Kenya straddles the middle of East Africa. The country's Indian Ocean coastline has stretches of white beaches lined with palm trees. Offshore lies a coral reef, a natural formation at or near the water's surface that is made of the skeletons of small sea animals. The beautiful beaches and the colorful fish of the coral reef attract tourists from all around the world. West of Kenya's coastal plain, the land rises gently to the central part of the country. Most of this upland plain is dry, but enough rain falls on some hilly areas to support farming. Lions, elephants, rhinoceroses, and other wildlife roam this plain. Millions of acres are designated nature preserves, which is land set aside by the government to protect plants and wildlife. Still, in recent years, there has been heavy poaching, which is the illegal hunting of protected animals. Dominating the western part of the country are the highlands and the Great Rift Valley. This valley is really a fault, a crack in the Earth's crust. The Great Rift Valley begins in southeastern Africa and stretches about 3,500 miles north to the Red Sea. The Great Rift Valley actually has 2 branches. The western branch plows through the western borders of Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, and Uganda. The eastern or Kenyan branch ranges from 30 to 80 miles wide. Steep cliffs called escarpments tower on both sides of the valley. In many places, water has flooded the valley to form lakes. Volcanoes also dot the area. One of them, Mount Kenya, rises 17,058 feet high. Kenya's climate. Because of its location on the equator, Kenya has temperatures that tend to be warm all year round. Remember that altitude or height above sea level also affects the climate. The highland regions tend to be cooler than the lowlands. The highlands, as well as the coastal regions, also receive more rain than do the central plains. Kenya's best farmland is found in these highlands. Kenya's economy. Kenya has a developing economy based on a free enterprise system. In this economic system, people can start and run businesses with limited government involvement. Kenya's capital, Nairobi, has become a center of business and commerce for all of East Africa. Foreign companies have set up regional headquarters in this city. Nairobi offers them good transportation and communication systems. Many Kenyans remain poor, however. Nomadic herding and subsistence farming are still the main economic activities. The main crops are corn, cassava, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and bananas. Cassava is a plant whose roots are ground into flour to make bread. Some larger farms raise coffee and tea for export. In recent years, the weather has not been good for crops. Also, corrupt practices of government officials have hurt the economy. Manufacturing forms only a small part of Kenya's economy. Factories process foods and make vehicles, chemicals, metal, and paper. One of the fastest growing industries is tourism. Thousands of tourists visit Kenya each year to take trips called safaris. On safaris, visitors tour the nature preserves in jeeps and buses to see the country's wildlife and its natural surroundings. The people of Kenya believe in Harambee, which means pulling together. Even though they come from many different ethnic groups, they have worked together to strengthen their country. The spirit of Harambee has led people to build schools and clinics in their communities. They have raised money to send good students to universities. Kenya's history and government. Many scientists believe that people may have first lived in Kenya about 2 million years ago. Over the centuries, many groups in Africa came to the region, including Arab traders from Southwest Asia that settled along the coast. Africans and Arabs lived and worked together. As a result, a blending of cultures took place. The Swahili language came about from this blending. Swahili developed in the coastal areas of Kenya. The name Swahili comes from the Arabic word meaning of the coast. The language includes features of several African languages as well as Arabic. Today, Swahili is one of Kenya's 2 official languages, and the other one is English. The British gained influence in Kenya during the late 1800s and made it a colony after World War I. Attracted by the mild climate and fertile soil, many British people moved to the highlands. They took land from the Africans and set up farms to grow coffee and tea for export. By the 1940s, Kenya's African groups organized and fought to end British rule. Kenya finally won its independence in 1963 and became a republic. The country's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, won respect as an early leader in Africa's movement for freedom. Under Kenyatta, Kenya enjoyed economic prosperity and had a stable government. In recent years, the economy has weakened under the president who followed Kenyatta. In response, many Kenyans have demanded democratic changes. Kenya today. Kenya's 28.8 million people are divided among 40 different ethnic groups. The Kikuyu people are Kenya's main group, making up less than 1/4 of the population. If you visited Kenya, you would discover that most Kenyans live in rural areas. With the constant threat of drought, many people struggle to grow crops. In recent years, large numbers of people have moved to the cities in search of a better life. About 1/3 of Kenya's people live in cities. Nairobi is the largest city with 1 million people. Mombasa is Kenya's chief port on the Indian Ocean. This city has the best harbor in East Africa, making it an ideal site for ocean-going trade.
So now for your assignment, you're going to pretend that you're a traveler and you're journeying through Kenya, and I want you to write a letter to me and tell me all the things that you've seen. And that's all.